bing! There's a bing that tells us it's time for AtlanticScrum, and John and Yara and myself are here. Let us go to screen share, and I do have two. Oh, this is an interesting thing with multiple screens. Will it let me share? It will. Aha! So it's only when I'm on a single screen that it won't let me share the whole screen. Interesting. Interesting. A bug or a feature, indeed. So yes. Well, let's. John. Anything exciting to report?
Oh, let's see. I can show you what I've got. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, if you look at my screen right now,
Yes.
you'll see basically Yarrow's Hangouts page.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference, I added a new event button here,
Mm-hmm.
so I can add a new event. But the thing is, it's not actually adding a new event; it's actually adding a new Hangout.
Okay. Right.
And so I've added some fields to the Hangout to extend its life cycle to events that haven't occurred yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the idea is that so my thought is that right now, what I'm planning to do is to make it so that the current event model, and I've written about this and talked about it. The current event model will be like an event series generating model, and it'll actually include a template like it does now. Yeah, so it'll include all the fields for the event that it's going to generate, as well as the schedule. And I've been playing around with this ice cube a bit too. And then the the Hangout model. Like I said, I'm extending its it's so that it can handle upcoming events. So any single one-time events will be created as Hangouts, not as events. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean that makes some sense. It's difficult to give you constructive criticism on it. It's I guess for me it's all about what affordances do we have in the interface? What does what can the user do in the interface, and is it clear to the user when they encounter the interface what options are available to them? But it'll sound good. I mean, I like what I'm seeing here. I guess what I worry is that it's taking a long time to get to something that we can sort of try out. Even getting something, it doesn't have to work or anything. Do you know what I mean? But sort of something to. Oh, and Thomas is here. Yeah. If you get something to. I mean, these interface mockups are great. I think the proof will be in actually using it and going through the flow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's difficult, at least from where I am, to assess that. Maybe Thomas is better able to check in on the the ins and outs of exactly the relationship between events and event series and Hangouts and so on. Yes, since Thomas is here, I guess Thomas and John, being able to discuss this in the upcoming developer meeting would be very useful. John, I guess you're not certain whether you can make that meeting yet.
Right. So we could talk about it after this.
So if Thomas is available, we will see. Is there anything blocking you, John? Any immediate? I guess you're free afterwards for.
Yeah, as long as Yarrow's here, I have a couple or one specific question. Presently, the Hangout model uses the updated at and created at fields, I believe.
Sorry to cut you off there, John. Because we're coming to the Scrum, I think maybe you can take that question to Yarrow at the end of the Scrum.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
Just because reporting on those things.
Okay.
Let's go to. I think Yarrow was in next. Unless you've got anything else, rather than questions that can be answered. Anything else critical to report on what's going on with you, John? Let's go over to Yarrow. How are things with you, Yarrow?
Well, things are quite sad in a way that I can't do any coding yet.
Oh dear.
I'm still getting prepared for the kickoff meeting, writing up. I've just finished off writing up the MVPs for the first two releases. And and hopefully at the end of this week we'll hold a kickoff meeting for the community portal project.
Great.
That's it. Nothing else to report on.
Okay, and are you free immediately afterwards to answer some of John's questions?
Yeah, no problem. Sure.
Okay, cool, good stuff. I think Amal was in next. Amal, how are things with you?
I'm good. I'm just coming back. It's been a long weekend. But I was working with Yaro on the what is it? The community portal and the workspace on air stuff. We're just brainstorming. Yaro's doing an impressive job in summarizing all that stuff, and it's very exciting. And I need to catch up with John and Thomas. I think last we left. Obviously, I missed the first part of the meeting where John summarized probably everything, and we were going to go and review what's in the pivotal and the state, and basically triage and clean up.
Okay. Yes. I think that certainly was the plan, and I know Thomas is, I think, keen for that to happen in the dev meeting today. Yeah, I guess we will review that. Maybe we should go to Thomas. Anything else? I mean, are you available immediately after this meeting, Amal? Are you going to be available?
Yes, I can.
And are you going to be available for the dev meeting after the next Scrum?
What time is that, and how many hours away is that?
I believe that is going to be 4.5 hours from now. Is that right?
4.5 hours. I may be.
Yeah.
I have an errand to run, but I may be available for it.
Okay. Let's go to Thomas. Thomas, how are things with you?
Thank you. Just fine. I've been preparing myself for tonight's dev meeting.
Yes.
And I've been going over some stories in Pivotal Tracker, adding some new ideas, some new features to the tracker, and making some comments. And I look forward to the meeting. And in terms of my availability, I'm not quite available right after this meeting, but I could make a pre-meeting for if we are about to discuss the events epic, because I know that Brian can only make a short appearance in the dev meeting itself. So if there's a lot of discussions, perhaps we could have a pre-meeting first and perhaps settle on certain things.
Yeah.
So we can keep the dev meeting itself clear out of that discussion, I guess.
Right.
If it's possible for you, John and Amal, I don't know.
Yeah, it's dependent on John, but I think the first meeting for this would just be to eliminate unnecessary stuff and just consolidate what stories we'll be working on.
Well, maybe at the end of this meeting we can do the working out of the time that might happen.
Yeah.
I just want to check in, Thomas. Have you got any other business?
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that we have a major problem on website 1, and that's the YouTube videos again. We've had issues with this before, and now basically me and Brian spent an hour yesterday trying to figure this out, and for now we can't pull in videos to project descriptions anymore.
Right.
That's due to the change in the API. Probably I remember that we tried to implement the version 3 API before the summer. That never happened, and now the version 2 is probably deprecated, and the way we did the search, did the API call, is no longer valid. So and the thing is that this is a reason why I need to get this events epic going forward, because we need to rethink the way we store information about Hangouts and URLs to recordings, and blah blah blah. So we need this to happen ASAP, basically. So,
okay.
This is a major thing for us right now in the website 1 project.
Okay. Well, maybe let's just quickly do me, which is not so much to update. I've given feedback on local support for Marianne. I was hoping she might be here. She's not, so I'm slowly and surely working through the pull requests. I've got the Autograders client meeting coming up, which is today in about an hour and a half. Actually, no, 30 minutes. It's been moved earlier today, so I can meet with Armando in an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the GitHub API now that I've stopped using all those silly gems. Yeah, and it's kind of, we've got the many staff away today here at Makers, so it's kind of a scrambling rush, but so not so much to report from me. But yeah, so I think that about covers it. It sounds like the critical business remaining that I don't know that we necessarily need to capture on the broadcast is just sort of working out a convenient time, particularly for Thomas and Amal and John and possibly Brian, or who knows. Anyway, but I guess is there any other business that we need to bring? Any other new business that needs to come to the Scrum? Any other concerns or blocks or anything?
Not on my part.
Yeah.
Negative.
I'll take that as a no and say, well, let's wrap up the Scrum there, and I'll leave you, good gentlemen, to discuss the timings of meetings.